Are you a financial services professional who would like to work with more doctor clients? Hi, I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner. For the past decade, I've been helping financial advisors just like you accelerate their growth by attracting, engaging, and serving more doctor clients through my company, Engaging Doctors. Probably the number one question I get is, how do I find more doctors with whom I have conversations? And today I'd like to offer you a tip. Think about the doctors who treat you or your family members. I'd like to share with you the number one mistake that most financial advisors make, which is forgetting about them. And then I'd like to help you avoid the second mistake, approaching them in ways that close rather than open doors. So I remember speaking with a mortgage broker. He was very frustrated. He said, I've got a great product, but I simply can't get doctors interested in speaking with me. And so I asked him, by any chance, have you or any of your family members faced a major illness? He said, oh my God, when my daughter was in high school, she was hit by a drunk driver. The medics found her unresponsive. And when we spoke with her ICU doctors, they warned us she might not make it. But then she woke up and they then warned us that she may never be able to speak again. And when she was speaking, they warned us she may never be able to walk. But with extensive physical therapy, she was actually able to do most of the things she did before the accident. She graduated from high school, and you know what? She just graduated from college. I said, okay, I've got an idea for you. Make a list of every single doctor and nurse and physical therapist and nutritionist involved in your daughter's care. Then plan on sending them a letter. And here's what the letter will say. Dear doctor, you might remember my daughter. She was in a motor vehicle accident and it was touch and go from the very beginning. You might be wondering what happened to her. Well, I am absolutely delighted to report that she just graduated from college. And I said, and make sure to include a college graduation picture. And then say, had it not been for you and your care, that might have been the end of my daughter's meaningful life. But because of your dedication and hard work, look where we are now. I cannot express my gratitude enough. And then you could go on to say, look, you have a special skill set. You help your patients move to optimal health. Well, what I do is I help doctors optimize their financial health by finding great doctor mortgages. If you know any early career doctors interested in buying a house, please have them contact me. It would be my honor and delight to be able to give back to the medical community by treating these doctors with the same high level of service and care and compassion that you extended to our family. And you know what? That worked great. So please do not overlook the doctors who treat you as you're thinking about prospecting, but you want to do it right. So I remember one of my very good-hearted financial advisors who had been through my Cracking the Physician Code course, and he reported to me with pride that he'd just done a major intervention. He had chest pain. He went to the emergency room and they diagnosed him with heart disease. He had a blocked coronary artery. So they were wheeling him down the hospital corridors to go to the cardiac cath lab. And he said to me, and I just yelled out from my stretcher, are you paying too much in taxes? If so, contact me. All right, his heart was in the right place, but the execution was off. Now, you're a native to the world of business. You're a suit. And in the world of business, there's a sense of reciprocity. I do business with you, you do business with me. But that is not how things work in the world of medicine. The very foundation of our healthcare system is the doctor-patient relationship. And there are some sort of sacred boundaries around the doctor-patient relationship. I'm a boomer, and the ethic that I was taught is that once you treat a patient, you don't have any other kind of relationship. You don't form a friendship, and you certainly don't form romantic partnerships with your patients. In fact, I know doctors who've actually lost medical licenses because of it. So you do not want to prospect your doctors, but you can use the same idea that I just shared with you in order to build relationships. So make a list of the doctors who have made a difference in your life. And then just stop and consider, what would happen if that doctor had not been there when you or a loved one had been sick? So I was actually in a graduate program when one night I fainted on my way to the bathroom. I had an ovarian cyst that had ruptured over a blood vessel. And by the time the gynecologic surgeons got into my belly, about half of my blood volume was in my pelvis. So I thought that this was the end. I was so grateful to wake up that I just knew I was going to be a doctor and save other patients' lives like my own had been saved. So a couple of decades after this life-altering surgical situation, I wrote back to the gynecologic surgeon. I reminded him who I was. I told him that as a result of what he did for me, I had become a surgeon myself, and I had made a difference in these numbers of patients' lives. And I said, had it not been for you, I most likely would have died that night. So thank you very much. So think about how these doctors have made a difference in your life. What are you able to do now? Or what is a loved one able to do now that couldn't be done had that doctor not intervened? So you can write them a thank you note, or maybe what you want to do is send them a thank you gift or include a thank you card in the gift. And some gifts or some of the books that I've written, the 9 money mistakes that doctors make. Doctors love this, or the myth of the rich doctor. So you have a couple of options. You can create some custom bookmarks that have a picture of the book on one side and your contact information on the other. So you can just slip these into the book and give the doctor a gift of the book. And then, you can write a little note. Dear doctor, thank you for your care. And I'm hoping that you find value in this. So I recommend not just giving one, but giving away maybe 5 copies of the book so that doctors can give this book away to other doctors. Your note can then go on. Look, you have a special gift. You help your patients optimize their health. I don't have that gift, but what I do is I help doctors optimize their financial health. Should you know any doctor who's wondering, how can I move up retirement by 5 to 10 years? Or how can I escape burnout? Or how can I legally and ethically lower my tax bill? Please have them contact me. I've got free resources for them. And as a way of saying thank you to you, it would be my great pleasure to help your colleagues. Now, I'm a boomer. You might have millennial doctors who say, well, can you help me? And if a doctor ever asks you that, well, you get to decide, but probably the answer is yes. But by not prospecting your treating physician, you are demonstrating cultural competency. You are saying, you know what, I get it. I know how things work in the world of medicine. It helps you build trust. So as you're thinking about building your community of doctors that you serve, please, please remember the doctors who treat you and your family. Done the right way, a doctor who treats you can potentially be a power partner for you, somebody who opens the door to other doctors. So that's what I've got for you today. Let me know how this goes for you, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Scripts for Success.